Not really, no.
What's to do?
Police harassment and intimidation.
Okay.
Being denied our human rights. Thuggish bully tactics, waste of resources, public money, waste of court's time, all needless. I'm also getting PTSD symptoms coming back from all of this. And I'm watching other people get really frustrated with the way things are going on a daily basis, and it's not on. Can I ask who you are?
Yeah, Clive Grunshaw, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Lancashire.
Okay, nice to see you here.
Yeah, obviously it's really important to come out and listen to people's views, people like yourself, find out what your thoughts are on the way this is being managed, the whole situation. I know you give me some indication of that, and so this is why I come out. I like to speak with people like yourself and obviously others as well to find out what your thoughts are and what the situation is. And clearly it's quite a difficult situation for everyone.
Well, I've been asking some of the PLO officers here for about a month now about slow walking. It's something that I myself have had over 200 of quite safely in the past. Been to court over. As long as it's reasonable and there's no, as long as it's a reasonable and safe slow walk, it is our human right to do this. I feel that it would have alleviated a lot of these problems. We've had three successful slow walks. It's been facilitated by one van and one police officer. That's so much less resources. It's a lot safer than ragging people around, throwing people. I mean, look at my phone today. That's just happened. Okay. All I was trying to do is to get behind the line of police officers to make sure that there was no undue poking or prodding, because it's happened on many occasions, and it does happen a lot, unfortunately. And I was dragged around myself, then this fell out of my hand and got smashed.
I mean, what we would do is, of course, we would urge anybody who's got legitimate complaints about the police to submit the complaint.
Oh, we have been. We are regularly.
But that isn't stopping them doing what they're doing now.
If you'd have been here half an hour ago, you'd have seen some terrible violence off the police.
And pressure pointing of a young man as well.
Well, you've got the cameras, and there's a number of those, if you like. So if there is any activities by the police that are overzealous or...
That was definitely overzealous. The policeman got out the
every day for the last 2 weeks.
Then you've got the evidence.
Me and my friend, and they went to grab my hair.
That's right. I mean, there's a process which clearly you're aware of the process in terms of submitting the complaints. That's what they need to do. I mean, I've had a number of complaints that have come into our office, but that's not the process to be dealt with by... I mean, we will give advice if you will give advice.
The thing is, the problem I've got is that when a police officer suspects us of doing something wrong, they're allowed to jump on us, pressure point us, harass, intimidate, torture people. Literally, it's torture. But when we suspect them of doing something wrong, oh, there's a complaints thing and you've got to do this, and then nothing ever comes of it at the end either. It's a really horrible situation. When the police are doing something wrong, they should be a way of getting this sorted out quicker, because for 2 weeks now I've been watching people get thrown around into the path of oncoming traffic sometimes. That van down there is obstructing the highway, and yet traffic can still flow freely around it. Yet we can't have a slow walk, which would take up the same amount of room as that, and it would be a lot safer than what's going on here. The thing is, I talk to the PLOs quite a lot. I have done in the past until I realise I'm talking to a brick wall. I've tried complaining myself. I've even spoken to Keith, the Silver Commander. It gets us nowhere, and nowhere fast either. And it's like, is someone going to have to die on this road before you guys take this seriously? That is my concern.
The police are here for public safety. That's what they should be here for. I know.
Should be.
Yeah, but that's the job.
Should be, but they're not. They're making it more dangerous and more difficult for us to exercise our human rights.
Shall we go and speak with some of the others as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a rare occasion. We got the police commissioner down here for Lancashire.
Oh, okay. Suits and boots, yeah?
Well. Fancy you being here.
You are?
I'm
Nettie.
Nettie.
Right,
I'm a local. I've been coming for quite a few weeks and I'm absolutely absolutely, totally disgusted with the behaviour of the police on this site. And I think that something needs to be done about it. We are peaceful protests, legal protests, in the human rights, and we just need our slow walks facilitated, and it needs to be done. Because what's happening here is just too dangerous, and it's the police that are making it dangerous.
Well, I mean, my job, of course, is to come and listen to people like yourself, Nettie, you know, to find out what the situation is here. I mean, there's two sides to everything, and in terms of, you are absolutely right in what you're saying about the police have to facilitate legal, lawful protests, but also in terms of the other side around
I understand
Quadrilla.
that. So slow walking is the answer. It works, it's safe, and everybody gets what they need.
Yeah.
So it needs to be facilitated.
I think is that not being negotiated now?
Well, it was negotiated before all this started, and all got thrown out the window, and it's just got worse and worse over the last 2 weeks since Egan went to flipping Westminster. And the horrendous behaviour that I saw this morning in the police office, throwing somebody on the floor, smashing their head on the floor, and all he did was try to get away from their kettle. And that is not right. It is just wrong. It is totally wrong. And the amount of evidence that is being mounted up against the police here, you're just going to have that much work to do.
It's like I was saying, I mean, we get a lot of complaints to our office, which is fine, you know, but there is a process, and I know people get frustrated with the process, but what I would urge is, with the evidence that people have with the cameras, you need to submit formal complaints, and they will be dealt with.
And it's being compiled, I am sure, by people that are. And we've been asked this, and we keep on sending in evidence, and we keep on posting evidence, and nobody's taking any notice. That's what it feels like.
It's always a kind of a time lapse between submitting a complaint and the complaint being dealt with.
In the meantime, the brutality is terrible. I mean, it's absolutely awful. I did not pay my taxes all my life for the police to behave like this in this country, because we are not America. We are not America. This is England.
We're not America.
And what's happening over there is America, and it is wrong.
Well, the decision around Quadrilla was not the police's decision.
I understand
it's
that,
not people
but
of
we
Lancashire.
said no.
I know that. I know that. And so, in terms of how to overturn this, it's a political decision. It needs a political solution. And that needs to be with the people, with your MPs, your members of Parliament.
We need a vote of no confidence in this bloody government. That's what we need.
Protest should be down in Westminster, at the DCLG, at your MP surgeries. That's where the protest should be. This is a political problem. You know, the police are stuck in the middle.
Saving our water is not a political problem, it's a human right.
Well, is that not?
I know, but people start saying that it's politics and all this and the other. But it's actually a human right to save our water from being contaminated. It's even being contaminated by the wheel wash to protect the roads. Because what's going to happen in there is so awful that if that comes onto the road, the whole place is going to get contaminated. It is just so bad. I am just I'm so upset from this morning, from actually seeing what they did to that young lad who wasn't actually doing anything, just stepping out the way of a kettle, and they just attacked him.
I can see how difficult this is, though, in terms of the speed of traffic coming past here. You know, the police are here for public safety.
Yes, I know.
I don't know the incident.
I have seen all the protesters in the last 2.5 weeks. I've only been coming 2.5 weeks. Have been impeccable. They have not committed any crimes. They are peaceful, and then the police get involved, and it's like eruptions, and they still are peaceful. They don't retaliate or anything, and it's just not good. It really is not good, and it's a shame on the bloody police force at the moment, and I am sure that the majority of the police here are absolutely ashamed of what they do.
The majority of the police here in Lancashire live within the community as well. I mean, they're not here to give their views on whether they support fracking or whether they oppose fracking. They're not here for that. They're here to do a job.
I know they're
they are people that do live in this community as well, the same as yourself. You know, they haven't been busted from outside. They are people that will be impacted by fracking exactly the same way that you will be.
And I know that their opinions might be on our side and they have to do a job, but their job is facilitating Quadrilla, and you can see it. You can see it every single day. maybe 5-6 times a day.
That
You
is
see
part
it.
of their job. Their
It's
part of the job is to
facilitating.
facilitate.
It's facilitate,
the
but they
business.
don't facilitate us,
But
and
it
we
is,
have a
it's
right.
both.
It's not.
It should
It's
be.
not though.
It should be.
And that's the whole
Yeah,
point. And the
yeah.
reason why we're so upset is because we're not being facilitated.
Could I just come back on the point you made about political redress?
Yes.
If you think we've not already tried to go down that route, and we have lobbied our MPs, who quite frankly, you know, if they have an opinion, they keep it to themselves, or they are pushing for regulation quite clearly when we know this industry is not safe from evidence from where it has been established across in America and Australia. We also, the fact that the government has been prepared to overrule the will of Lancashire, to me, immediately indicates that they're not politically the will is to drive this agenda forward.
Well, they talk about devolution, don't they, and local decision making.
And also, the other thing I would like to say is, in terms of the protests, we have seen an escalation in the last couple of weeks. I've been here practically every day since the start of January, and I have watched the police presence.
Are you a local person?
I am a local, yeah. I live a few miles down the road. I've watched the police presence grow and the tactics change. And what I'm witnessing, it frightens me. Now, I am being hardened, and I want to also warn you that I feel that what's happening here is actually detrimental to the long-term future of the relationship between the people of Lancashire, people of Fylde, and your police force, because that will and that trust is being eroded. I'm of a generation that was told, if you've got a problem, find a policeman. I had a massive problem the other day when I was trying to get an ambulance for a lady who was unconscious, and I was ignored. I was ignored. And now to me, that undermines everything, irrespective of what's going on over there. The fact that I don't believe the police have got their duty of care and their priorities right. What I am witnessing on a daily basis, and it's happened to me, I've been injured myself, and I have put a complaint in.
Okay.
What I am witnessing on a daily basis is a ramping up and a sort of a pressure point being applied to this protest, almost as if there's a wider agenda going on. Now I know you're going to deny it, but if I was not so cynical, I am a cynic, so I'm thinking that maybe the agenda is around a bigger issue around protest in this country and about stifling people's rights. Now I am very reluctant to think that Lancashire could be part of that, but what I'm witnessing is leaving me no doubt. I'm not a violent or a protester generally. I feel desperately conscious that this is imposed upon our communities, and I feel a desperate will to protect our communities and our globe. We've got one planet, and we do feel, and I know it's denied, we do feel that what happens is facilitating quadrilla over local rights. Now I know you'll say that you have to talk to quadrilla. Well, we don't see a balance, I'm afraid, Mr. Grunshaw. We don't see it.
For me, I understand that what the police do here and what they but the way that the police are actually using their reasonable force isn't actually reasonable when they're getting men are fully aggressively throwing women on the floor, pulling them by their hair, pressure pointing them, strangling them. The people, like they're having people in tears, begging them, get off me, strangling me, and they're doing it even tighter and tighter. You know, they're aggressively shunting people. They're saying that they're threatened because if you point a bottle of water at them, you know, their aggression is just
then with the cameras
escalates.
that you've got, then there should be evidence to support what you're saying.
Like yesterday, when we sat down in front of the lorry and they were trying to pull us apart, they turned all of their body cameras off, and then as soon as they finished doing what they were doing to me, they turned it back on again.
You've got the evidence.
Yeah, but there's more of your police force than there is, or EGT-wise, as there is most of us recorded.
I was told
and
that
you're turning your body cameras off. Their body cameras are supposed to be there to show whatever happens on the other side of that police officer's perspective. Why turn them off? Exactly.
I was
I don't know
told.
what's happening. I don't know whether that's the case. I don't know.
I was told at a meeting on Monday night between some councillors, some protesters and Keith Ogle that there would be a de-escalation in police tactics and presence.
65-year-old
And yet,
and
yet yesterday, from almost the moment we arrived roadside, the aggression was ramped up. My friend, who is a very mild man who never even shouts or anything, was shoved brutally for no other reason than being on pavement. And how can you explain that as a de-escalation to me? I'm at a loss.
And if it was somebody on the pavement as well, I mean, from what I understand, it's the obstruction obstruction of the highway that's a real concern, because it is about the vehicles, the accidents.
The majority of the time it's actually the police that is obstructing the highway. Like this morning before you arrived, they had a huge tailback all the way at the end because as soon as someone arrived here, they decided they didn't want them here and they arrested them. So what they did then is close the road down. And then, they're aggressively kettling local people that are trying to do their 15-minute protest, but that has now actually been denied.
Okay. Where would they be kettled?
Everywhere, wherever they possibly can. So basically, for instance, when we're sometimes where that other line is here, as some incidents from myself have happened to me a few times, I've tried crossing the road and they've gone, no, you've got to stay here. I'm like, but you're telling me to get out of the way, so why would you then kettle me in the way when I'm trying to cross the road to get to the pavement?
Okay.
There's
a difference between containment and kettle would mean you're not able
when
to
we're
move
detained,
anywhere.
exactly, yes.
Yeah.
That
has occurred.
They've even come over here to the locals and said, no, you're not going anywhere, but all they're doing is just standing there. It's scaremongering tactics.
So we accept that's containment, but
We've
there is
had
kettling
3 ladies had to look, they've had to go away for 2 weeks, distorted, absolutely destroyed. They're shot. Their police force that they've trusted for years and years and years are actually assaulting the way that they're doing it. They're saying about how it actually is and they're destroyed.
Well, I know we have police and liaison officers have worked along with hard, if you like, to try and build up the trust within the local community, your local person, you'll be aware of that.
There's no trust with these officers, but with the PLOs, they're doing all out their work. They are facilitating the protest.
We have consistency.
They are protecting us. That is not happening with any other police officer on this force here. It's only the PLOs that are doing their jobs.
Yeah.
All the officers we have are Lancashire officers. There's no one coming in from outside.
Well, I tell you what, you need to. You want to praise these lads because they're doing the work around here. They're doing the jobs.
Could I ask a question? Are the officers that are coming in, are they new trainees? Because some of the tactics they're using, they don't seem to be doing things consistently. And so, for example, yesterday, there was a very specific incident where we were having a very silent, peaceful protest. And I was asked to move, and I said, I will move, but could I ask you which way you're asking? Because you're pushing me forward into the road, but you're telling me to move to the side. And he said, I want you to move to the side, as he continued to push me into the road. Right. So I'm confused, and the miss signals and misinformation that we're getting is actually not helpful. And there's 4 of us, and we were sort of contained from behind and then moved. And in that incident, a lady actually, her legs were taken from under her. We've got video evidence of it. This is a lady that was knocked unconscious last week.
I mean, in terms of the officers, this is not something that the officers will have experienced on a regular basis. It's something that will be new to quite a few people.
I understand that, but they also
for aggressive praying.
Yeah.
How can you be arrested for aggressive praying?
A Buddhist lady was arrested 2 weeks ago.
And she was praying on the floor.
And the bicycle lanes, for instance, they actually have designated areas. So obviously this one here is a designated area that was put over the down now. Yeah. And they actually have land permission to be parked in here. So I don't see the need to block the bicycle lanes. If they're going to park there, I don't see why they can't move over more. And then, because they are actually obstructing the bicyclists.
I know, I mean, I have been in briefings and I know
but
there's a real concern about people's safety.
Yeah, well, they keep saying that, but then what about the road user safety as well, for the cyclists? Yeah. If they can't, for instance, if you look at the police car, a bicyclist will have to come right out of the way. And say if a car's coming around them at the same time, it's got a gap like that. A guy yesterday was like that, wobbling, shaking because he didn't want to hit the police car or get hit by the other car. If they're going to park there, at least tuck them in a bit more, then you've still got the bicycle lane access. And that's what I've been asking for about 2 weeks. I've got evidence about 2 weeks worth of them parking there, just saying, look, tuck it in, just move it in. And they just don't want to, basically. That's just, that's how it is.
You get a chance to witness the tactics for yourself now, first hand.
Of your police force now, because they'll try and remove these people. They won't just be the one van, they'll send 2 lots, 3 lots. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, you've got 2 police van fulls.
Already.
And you'll see for yourself the aggression for 5 people and 2 police vans.
Yeah. I'm assuming
you're here now about to witness the actual tactics of the police, the aggression that we're telling you now.
And the thing is that the majority of us only want to have a slow walk, which is our right to do so. And like I said, I've been to court over this. I was found not guilty for obstruction of the highway.
Vans. 5 people, 3 police vans.
4 police vans?
No, 3 units that have come out.
And it's a qualified right to slow walk. Articles 9, 10 and 11, freedom of thought, conscience and religions, right to assembly and right to expression. Now I only went to court over 10 and 11, but actually 9 as well, which is my conscience and my freedom of religion as well. And it's been done on pretty much every other oil site in the country that's been protested at, quite successfully. We had 4-hour slow walks in Brockham. I was found not guilty at Horse Hill for slow walking. But Moss, although it was a bit brutal, people there were slow walking. Also at Bolcombe, there was also slow walks there.
It's all down to individual circumstances though as well. We've got to make.
As you can see, this major road is being obstructed by your police vans right now, and has been on many occasions. Quite successfully.
Well, thank you for actually having the time to come down and talk to us.
We need some reassurances.
We've been asking for someone to come down and actually facilitate, somebody decent who will actually listen.
I've had a lot of correspondence and emails, so rather than just
read them and come down to the town.
Can you just appreciate one big thing? Everything is about perception. No matter what you say.
Hold on, are you watching? Are you even watching? He's not even watching.
What part of facilitating protest in this community are you allowing? Because that's not protest or allowing facilitating protest. Sorry, I'm not, no disrespect. I've spoken to you a lot of times about this. Come here to protest. I've got a right to protest. What part of facilitating protest was that there? Them vehicles wash the wheels, then they just drove straight out. There is no protest there and you're not allowing it. And that's why people are getting worked up about it. We've got rights here. You're just absolutely smashing them to the side.
Like I did say, it's the balance between the two, between what is lawful protest and what is obstruction at the highways. Pod really do have a right to go about their business as well. The police have got to facilitate both.
But they didn't. You just witnessed that. They did not facilitate nothing there. What they facilitated there was, as in part of the travel management plan, was washing the wheels, and then they just drove straight out. The police did not facilitate any protest at that side of the road, and you just witnessed that. So what part of the balance are you actually giving to us as protesters? So everything seems to me you've just guided out the cordiality of vehicles, no delays, and not allowing me my protest. And I've got that under Section 8 of the Human Rights Act. So why aren't you allowing that?
In terms of negotiations around that, that is operational. That's not my decision. I mean, in terms of what has just happened then, like I said, Quadrilla do have the right to go about their business. The police do have to facilitate that, as well as facilitating the protest. We've got a number of protesters around here. The police's job is to ensure safety as well. This is a really difficult situation. The speed of the traffic coming past here, the police are in the middle of that.
But just going back to what it says, balance. Let's have a balanced view, because you read it, the perception of what goes out on live stream is on Lancashire Police. Let's not forget that. What people are seeing on TV, seeing across the country at the moment, and at the moment, and at the end of the day, perception of police is bad enough as it is. You don't need to make it any worse by not having a balanced protest. You have not balanced that out. You facilitated cordiality. You did not facilitate me as a human being to do my protest. And that's all I want to say to you, because the perception of what people were seeing out there is just going against what you're doing. That's my point. All right.
Thank you.